I've been waiting the last couple hours for a trade to actually be finalized in the NHL, and I've given up. So that means it'll happen while I'm recording this, because I honestly think it's one player going. I'm not answering that phone, because if I answer that phone, I'm traded. If I don't answer the phone, I'm not traded. Smart. So we're going to do a bit of a news video, and I will get into why these are on the board. Recent additions to my DVD collection, which is huge. I have this huge jersey collection. My DVD collection is absolutely massive as well. So they've come out and announced what I think most of us saw coming, and it's that Supergirl will be ending after season 6. You know, I love Melissa Benoist. I think Melissa Benoist is fantastic. I think she's a good actress. I think she plays Supergirl well. I remember when they cast her, and I remember looking at her thinking, I don't know, does that suit the Supergirl? And then, you know, I watched the show and I was like, no, she's got it. That they nailed the casting on that one. And of course, we could sort of see this coming. We're seeing some major cutbacks by studios because of the ongoing pandemic. They're looking to cut costs. And then on top of that, you've got the new Superman show that's starting up. So you don't really need a Superman and Supergirl show. So, you know, it's great that it went on for 6 years. Hopefully Melissa still makes guest appearances. I wouldn't mind seeing her join Legends, to be honest. But I don't know how long Legends has left either. So hopefully it's not her being done with the cape. Hopefully they find a way to keep her in the shows. Or she finds a new series, because she's a fantastic actress. I think you could get her into a good sitcom. The trick is finding good when sitcom together now. Sitcoms just aren't very good anymore. I don't know what's going on, but they're just not very good. There aren't any that I'm currently watching. None. And that is for the first time in my life. I don't have a sitcom that I actually watch week in and week out. That's apparently canceled. I want to talk a little bit about what I've been watching today. So while I'm waiting for this trade to come down, I watched AEW Dark. And this is where things get interesting. So, you know, there's the WWE versus AEW argument. For me, I prefer AEW, and I think Dark is a good example of why. I can watch a whole hour and a half of wrestlers that some of them I know who they are, but most of them I don't. And I just find it interesting and entertaining. And I think vedascott and Taz on commentary might be my favorite part. Taz will sometimes get ahead of himself and lose his track of thought, and it's really funny to listen to. And this week I thought was particularly entertaining with them, and Veda every now and then jumping in with, "Pardon? What?" So when you're watching a WWE show and somebody will misspeak, there are times where they let it slide. There are times as well where they don't. And it can get really funny when you hear the announcers kind of breaking character and joking around with each other about something one of them said. But, you know, vedascott is a very natural voice in wrestling. Whether it was as a manager in ROH, which is where I discovered her, or now as an announcer for AEW. And I've never understood why she didn't hit it big. She's definitely athletically, she's sound. She was a good wrestler in matches I saw her in. Very, very pretty. So if there's that argument of, well, they're not, no, the looks didn't hold her back either. So I don't know what it is. I know sometimes it's a matter of getting the right breaks, and I know she was considering leaving the wrestling industry altogether this year until AEW picked her up for commentary, and I'm really glad she stayed in it, and hopefully we can see her in the ring at some point, because again, I think she's very talented, and not just as a voice, but the voice she's very good at as well, and she plays a heel really, really well. Now back to movie entertainment news. Black Widow pushed back to May 2021. This pushes back the cinematic universe for Marvel. But you know what else this does? So while the whole shutdown and everything kind of sucks, and we haven't been in theaters in a long time, I haven't been in the theater. I wanted to go and see Tenet, but I'm like, I don't feel comfortable going to a theater right now. The numbers locally are too high for my liking, and again, I'm sure that the theater keeps things as safe as possible, but I'm not going into a theater. So Black Widow being pushed back, I think what it does, I think it allows us to miss Marvel. I think it's going to make it so that when Marvel movies come back again, we go, hey, right, Marvel movies, these are a thing, and I miss them, and I'm glad they're back. So Black Widow being pushed back, and I've seen a couple of comments on Twitter along the lines of, oh, who cares? Nobody cares about this movie. Yes, we do. Stop it. There are those of us that care about this movie, so stop it. You're making yourself look bad. And all kidding aside, I'm glad that that the movie's still going to be released in theaters. At some point, I thought they might consider just throwing it on Disney Plus like they did with Mulan, but the budget may very well have been bigger for Black Widow, and because it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, well, it's not the TV universe. TV universe is different, so yeah, you don't want to have those two together. I also wanted to mention in this video, because we had the Emmys this week, which rated really, really lowly compared to others, which makes sense. It's 2020, so the Emmys are off. But Schitt's Creek won a bunch of awards, and so I thought, all right, I want to see what all the hype's about. So I started watching season 6. I didn't watch seasons 1 through 5. I think I watched an episode from the first season, and I went, it's quaint. It's Canadian. It's a quaint Canadian show. But I've watched the first couple episodes of season 6. And it is actually pretty entertaining. I didn't mind it, and it's different. So I think that's part of how they ended up doing very well. I'm glad they did well, and hopefully more people south of the border now find the show as a result of it winning Emmy Awards, because there are some really good Canadian programs. And you could see how you'd have like a Canadian universe of Trailer Park Boys, Schitt's Creek, Corner Gas, Letterkenny, that they could all exist in this same Canadian universe. There you go, cinematic universe of Canadian TV shows. Be very anticlimactic. The climax would just be them, hanging out at a diner somewhere, having a couple of drinks. And there'd be some... The biggest conflict would be the fact that half the shows involve a ton of swearing and half of them involve almost none. So that's your biggest conflict right there. So I've started watching it, and yeah, again, I can honestly say I recommend it, but people who aren't watching it probably won't because of my recommendation. Speaking of recommendations, WandaVision looked like it was going to be good anyways, because I want to say Elizabeth Olsen. Yes, Elizabeth Olsen. And the actor that plays Vision, the name is escaping me at this point, but I love the two of them as actors. Paul something. Anyways, yeah, so I watching the trailer. The trailer's already racked up 50 million views, because this is part of that we miss Marvel situation, where we haven't seen anything new from Marvel in a long time. So WandaVision is going to get, I think, more attention. People are still at home watching TV rather than being out at the theater. We're now past summer. We're going into autumn, where people are at home more as well, automatically. And so, yeah, WandaVision, honestly, it looks like it's going to be a great show. And it looks like it's going to be really interesting. And it's going to have interesting tie-ins, I believe, with the cinematic universe as well. And this does mean as well that the Winter Soldier series, Falcon and Winter Soldier series, is going to get pushed back a bit. But again, that's okay. We've seen a lot of productions that have been put on hold during the pandemic. So a lot of productions have been pushed back. So why not push back release dates too? So yeah, WandaVision looks like it's going to be a fun one. That's going to be on Disney Plus. And the final item to discuss for today, the passing of John Laurinitis, who was Animal in the Road Warriors. And yeah, it is absolutely a shame. No, I knew I got that wrong, so I had to go back and fix it. Joseph Laurinitis. Not John. John Laurinitis is his brother, who was, of course, on WWE. He's still alive. It's Joseph Laurinitis, Joe Laurinitis, who was Animal, who passes away at age 60. Which means that, yes, I do need to do a video on my favorite tag teams of all time. Spoiler alert, the Road Warriors would be number one. The Road Warriors, I remember watching the old NWA shows before it became WCW, and you'd have usually it was the Mulkey brothers in the ring, and they were like 100 pounds soaking wet put together, and then Hawk and Animal would come out and absolutely destroy them in 3 seconds, get the pin with the Doomsday device, and then that was it. And I remember as a kid, when I say as a kid, I'm talking like 12, 13 years of age, I thought that was the greatest thing I'd ever seen. That, again, I understood that wrestling wasn't real, that it was fake. But at the same time, I appreciated what these guys did, and they legit looked like they could go out and beat the crap out of everybody. So Hawk and Animal would hit the ring, they'd destroy somebody, and like I said, the Mulkey brothers were often victims. I love the Mulkey brothers, and I used to love when I'd be watching the old NWA shows, and Mulkey Brothers would be in the ring, and I'm like, all right, so they're getting destroyed. Who's destroying them tonight? Might be the Midnight Express. It might be the Rock and Roll Express. It didn't really matter. They weren't really good guys or bad guys. They were just there. And yeah, the Road Warriors were the first team that really, really impressed me. And they really made me feel like this tag team wrestling thing's really important. The other thing I remember from the NWA back then was that they had 6-man tag team titles, and those felt important. If a company takes something seriously, it becomes important. It's interesting how that works. But yeah, it is. 2020's already been rough. So to his family and friends, a shame on the passing of Joseph Laurinitis, of the Road Warriors, Road Warrior Animal, and of course Legion of Doom and WWE. But yeah, so that's the latest kick in the teeth if you're a wrestling fan my age. Especially, I would think, were a lot of the guys that it's hard. I was watching, I watched Fall Brawl from 2000 the other night. Well, I got through most of it. I couldn't get through the whole thing. And I started realizing, like, that wrestler's not with us anymore. That wrestler's not with, that one's. And then there were a lot of other guys, too, that I was like, who are these guys? Because it was Fall Brawl 2000. It was just before they went out of business. So there were a lot of wrestlers. I was like, who? Oh, right, that guy. I remember that guy. So, yeah. It just makes you feel old looking back at all that. Speaking of looking back, so that's as close as I can come to segueing into this. So DC's Legends of Tomorrow, Season 3, Season 4, Season 5. Season 5 just came out. Season 6, of course, is filming. Season 6 will debut next year. I started with Season 1. I watched Seasons 1 and 2. Started Season 3. And I realized that my wife, who hadn't watched it, I had started her watching Season 4. And I realized that's the wrong season. Once I got to Season 3, I went, that's the show reboots itself in Season 3. So you have the Time Masters in Seasons 1 and 2. But of course then Season 2 kind of meanders through the whole Legion of Doom thing. That never really works. It doesn't really work. Although I like the look of the building, looking like the Legion of Doom building from the cartoons. But it's clumsy how they call them the Legion of Doom. But Season 3, you bring in the Time Bureau and you reboot the series. Which I thought it definitely needed. And so I've got her watching that. Because it's a fantastic show. And again, I've talked about this in videos on this channel for a long time. It's one of those shows that if you're not watching it, it's worth it. And I got these because you have all the special features, and that way then I have them. So these are both Blu-ray. I believe this one's just DVD. Yeah, this one's DVD. This one they didn't have a Blu-ray for a price that was less than, whatever. But yeah, I got them all through Amazon. So yeah, it's the special features. I like the special features. I don't know if there's any commentaries or not. I would imagine there might be a commentary on here of some sort. Panels, gag reels, panels, legendary unaired scenes, gag reel, post-production theater. So yeah, no commentaries, but that's okay. They already do enough work on the show as it is. And yeah, so I'll promote the show as much as I can because it's the best show that not enough people are watching. And I'm worried that it's going to follow the same route as Supergirl because they're going into Season 6. And that's kind of where you end up canceling shows very often. Legends, I think they're at 80... I think it's 82 episodes they've done. And of course, 100 is the magic number for syndication. So they may keep it around for 100 to go into syndication. But I don't know. With the way that we do the live streaming now and all the online services, I don't know that the 100 episodes means as much as it used to. But we'll see. All right, so there you go. Kind of a mishmash news video from all over the world of entertainment. A little bit of wrestling thrown in there because I consider wrestling to be part of the entertainment business as well, more than the sports business. But hey, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.